This for Reid. I guess I didn't realize you used to be a bad holder, but Scott Fountain was saying you were really bad and you worked really hard. Now you won the Holder of the Year award. I mean, could you kind of take us through that process?
Yeah. So when Coach Fountain first got here, I hadn't really worked on holding at all. And it was a big deal for him having punters hold for the kickers just because we spent so much time together. And I remember I first started working with Vito, and every single practice I couldn't get it done for him. And eventually they just had one person hold for him and nobody wanted to work with me. And I worked really hard during the summer. I took it really serious, and it was really good to see results and be able to become the starting holder here and then win Holder of the Year.
What did you do to your holding? I mean, just have somebody snapping to you, or did you have some machine doing it, or how'd you do it?
No, we work really hard in the summer, just charting field goals. And I think a big thing for me that elevated my holding was just emulating confidence in myself that I could do it. And as weird as it sounds, I think if you can practice holding with some swagger, I think you can really improve. It's all about getting it down fast and getting the laces out.
Cam, you had a really solid freshman year. What are some of the areas you're focusing on for this season?
Yeah. Obviously you want to build on what you've done last year and in years past. So I think I was 83% last year. So 20 to 24. And two of those misses came from 50 plus. I think one was a 38 yarder and one was a 41. But I think just, those longer kicks, 50 plus, I kind of want to, maybe instead of being 33% on those, being like above 50% range. That's what we try and aim for. Obviously it's nice to make all of them, but I really do think that's where I'm trying to improve is longer field goals, just being able to put those through. And, obviously, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but just put more field goals up for the team. And, I want to be above that 90% mark. I feel like that's a really, high expectations, but I think I can get it done. And, a lot of elite guys that are in the NFL, and like, if you see guys that get drafted, they always, have usually 90% season or, 100% season. So just making more points from a team and, make sure my op is crisp with Bauer and the snapper. So.
You talk about those longer distance field goals. What's your range like right now? How far out comfortable are you?
Yeah. So I definitely feel like I've gotten a stronger leg this offseason. I had a 52 in the scrimmage this past weekend and I cleared it by a good amount. So I definitely feel like my leg is getting stronger. I'd say I'm probably about 3 more yards comfortable going a little further than last year. I mean, in warm up, some ways the wind goes into you, with you. So I kind of make that game time decision on what I feel like is, doable during the game. But I think if there was no wind going both ways, I feel like I'm good from about 56 and going from both ways. I'd get it to the upright. So
we've seen, I think the bow and arrow, the 3-pointer, the gritty, all the secret handshakes and stuff. You got anything worked up for this year?
I haven't really put much thought into it. Just really trying to kind of focus on, making my kicks, getting my operation down before we can, make all that stuff up. So, maybe in the season it'll happen spontaneously, but just trying to work on, putting that ball through the uprights first.
It seems like you keep winning the punting job. They keep bringing guys at you and, you're competing for the job every year. What is that like? Is that at all frustrating? Is it just like next guy up, or what are your thought process when you're competing every single year for the starting job?
Yeah, my thought process is iron sharpens iron. We're a really good university and we bring in really good talent every year. And it's nice to be always competing. It keeps you on your toes and elevates your game to a status that you didn't think you could do. So I don't really look at it and get frustrated. I just view every chance as an opportunity. Every competition is an opportunity.
What's been your impression of Fletcher, being a freshman coming in?
Yeah, Max is really talented. I think he's a great addition to the room. He's not only a really good punter, but even a better kid. I've really gotten to build a really good relationship with him. He's one of the funniest dudes on the team and one of the hardest working kids. You can tell that he really cares about it and he wants to be great.
Jordan Silver was here for forever, and now you're breaking in a new snapper. How the snapper competition going, and specifically Eli Stein being a freshman?
Yeah. So all 3 guys are, competing for the job right now, and they're all doing a really good job. They come out there just working their tails off every day, and you can really tell that they have like a competing mindset when they get out there. I mean, all of them are trying to do their best because obviously they want to step on the field, and every single one of them wants that equal opportunity. So I really do think they're competing well. Eli's a really, really good snapper. I think he was ranked pretty high coming out of high school, and definitely has some talent. We went to a little camp this past summer, and he performed really well there, and just kind of has kind of an elite mindset. And all the guys we have in the room have that kind of mindset. All of them have been good snappers for us. So it's a really good competition between those three. And I think, may the best man win. I mean, all three of them are doing a really good job.
Reid, what was your inspiration for the Mortel Award video? And did you notice that your fan following, your social media interactions picked up?
Yeah, my inspiration was kind of just all the old videos. Peter Mortel kind of told me like what to do a little bit, kind of make it a skit at first and then be serious with it. I've never really done a video like that before, so it was a lot of fun to shoot.
It's pretty new too. I mean, were you aware of it before late last year, or?
I had known about it for a few years. I never thought that I'd have an opportunity to win it, so that was really cool. But yeah, I think it's an awesome award. It's a great cause. You really get some good charity work out of it too, and the social media engagements were really nice too.
Cam, his strengths as a holder, what would you say? What made him a good holder?
Yeah, I think honestly, just getting the ball down quick. That's a huge thing. You want to look at the ball as long as you can with kicking the ball. I mean, you're running at 1.3 seconds from snap to kick. So, I mean, you really want to get as much time to look at the ball as possible, and also not kicking laces or anywhere but the back of the football. That really does make a difference for a lot of people that don't know. Like if you kick the laces, it's going to stay on your foot longer. Ball tail left a lot. So I think it's just really important how he emphasizes it. I mean, not a lot of guys in the country you can go out and see on a Saturday or even in the NFL on Sunday that will get laces out consistently. And just, I think I'm really thankful that he puts an emphasis on it because it makes the whole unit better on the Saturdays.
Probably seen you kick 100 balls or so since you've been here. You do your step back and then you got your little shoulder shimmy you like to do right before that. I don't guess I see a lot of kickers do that. What does that come from? And also, what's your last thought right before you kick the ball?
So with the shoulder shimmy, I think I kind of just developed that. Like I kind of equate it to like Kevin Durant did that before free throw. I didn't really, do it because he did it, but like I think it's just a kind of like a common thing we just kind of developed. And as a kicker, you try and go out there and do everything the same every single time to make kicks. So I think it just kind of became a habit. And I think. Sorry, can you ask that second question again?
What's the last thing that goes through your head before you kick?
Yeah. So the last thing that goes through my mind, I'm warming up. Usually if we get past, if we're even near the half line, I usually go up in the net and start warming up, kind of do like it's called a one step. It's a little shorter version of a full step. And I think I just kind of go out there and, right before I run on the field, I tell myself, just go out there and do what you do every single practice. You've kicked this kick 1,000 times. Just go out there. And I didn't really, when we go out on the field, I didn't even look at anything besides a spot, upright spot. That's usually what I go to. And then I pick up a spot where I want to hit the ball and try and hit that spot. So
post shoulder shimmy.
Yeah.
What is the thought?
I don't even think about anything, to be honest. I blank out. I couldn't tell you what I was doing. As soon as that shoulder shimmy goes, I couldn't tell you what I was doing right after that till about 2 seconds after that. Just blank out and do my thing. Muscle memory kind of takes over there.
Do you call it the shoulder shimmy or did I just coin that?
I don't know. I kind of like it though. Shoulder shimmy's nice.
Sometimes I catch
We'll call
myself
it.
doing that.
We'll call it.
Like
a little swag.
What about you? What's the last thing that goes through your head right before you boot the ball?
I get back there and I kind of pick out my target downfield where I want to walk my line. And then my eyes are kind of just fixated on the ball, just waiting to receive the snap. I don't really think about it too much. I kind of just pick one thing out of my mechanics that I want to focus on. For example, if I know my drop wasn't really good in warmups, then I'm just going to focus on that because there's a lot of things that goes into hitting a good punt.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about all of them, then you're just going to be thinking too hard and you're not going to have the outcome that you want. So I think it's just best to pick one thing that you want to focus on and stick with that. I've punted enough balls to where my muscle memory is good enough to take over and get the job done.
When did you start feeling comfortable holding? When did you feel like, hey, I can do this? I'm going to be really good at it.
Definitely towards the end of the summer, before that first year I started holding, or actually, no, I think it was in the first fall camp. There was one snap that was on the ground and I remember I got it up off the ground and gave a really good hold to Cam, and
Yeah,
what was
making
it,
the, it was like a
50
pressure situation.
Yeah, it was
So,
2-minute drill, I think 50 yards. And I think that's when me and Cam really built our connection as a kicker and holder duo.
You remember like hearing stories like, man, Reid's not a very good holder.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
so my first spring here, Vito is still here. And I had rolled with Sam Loy and George Carrington that were both here before that. And I'd always, roll with them because I mean, that's kind of the only two holders I really trusted at the time, if I'm being honest. Like, I mean, Vito would roll with Bauer. And I remember hearing a story about Bauer getting his hand kicked because he didn't get the ball, didn't get his hand out beside the ball. So I was like, man, I'm not going to work with that dude. But I mean, slowly Reid just kind of just started really working at it. And I mean, he really did put a big emphasis on it that summer. And when, I mean, I had Loy for probably the first 3 days of fall camp last year. And then he went down with an injury and I was like, I'm gonna start working with Bauer. So I started working with Reid, and ever since then, it's kind of just been, confidence in him. I mean, he just talked about it. The snaps on the ground, he does his best to get it up, and he can get the laces out even if snaps on the ground most of the time. So just having that, confidence in your unit is, I mean, half the battle, really. I mean, if you have confidence in your guys, all you got to do is think about the kick. You don't got to think about the hold, snap, anything. So
I'm sure part of the reason you won that award is because, the plays you made, like the pass against Alabama, and I'm trying to remember the other. I know you had it. Yeah. And I know you can't, tip your hand, but I guess, are you working on some other stuff to be, stay dangerous in that aspect?
Well, we're constantly working on fakes. It's just something that we do. Just got to be ready if your name gets called to run one.
anytime he gets an opportunity to throw the ball in practice, he's throwing it and running it.
And then what's your take on Reid? What's your take on the snappers? Because you're the guy obviously that's got to catch the ball.
Yeah, I think all of them are doing a really great job so far. All three of the guys are great competitors, and you see that every day. Every single day they've been getting after it, and it's exciting to see the way they work.
Cam, I guess you're competing for the kickoff job too
Yeah.
this year. How's that going? Do you want to add those duties?
Yeah, I mean, it would be great to add those duties. Obviously it's another job added onto the list. So it wouldn't just be kicking field goals, it'd be doing kickoff and field goals. So you got to focus on two things. But, I think the job is wide open. I mean, we're both having a really good competition for the job. And I know Jake is a super talented kicker, field goal and kickoff. I saw his film in the portal when we got him and kind of never got to really see him kick. And he's a really good kicker. So obviously a really talented guy, and the competition is, head and head, and we're both doing a really good job. And I think we both work really hard at it. So it'd be cool to, like kick off, but I mean, it's obviously up to Coach Fountain, who has those duties. So I'm just blessed to be in the position to, compete for that job.
Scott was in here saying that the first time we went up to, I guess, the Mississippi State game 2 years ago, he said, you're punting. And I think he said, or maybe you said that you blacked out or something. What do you remember about that? Obviously, you did a good job with it, and clinched the game. But just what do you remember about that? Maybe what did that do for your confidence?
Yeah, so that was the first week that I traveled that season, and I didn't know if I was going to go in that game, and it was looking like the game was going to be over, and I think we got a penalty and had to move back into punting range, and Coach Fountain told me to go warm up in the net. And so that was going to be my first time back on the field in over a year since I redshirted my sophomore year. And I just remember being pretty nervous at first, just because I haven't done a lot of rollout punts, but I trusted what I had been doing at practice. And I went out on the field and all the noise kind of vanished. And it was almost like I could feel my heart rate just beating out of my chest. And that was the only thing. It was just me, the snapper, and then my heart rate, honestly.
I think you played receiver in high school. How do you think that helps you with the fakes and maybe just doing athletic things when you need to punt the ball too?
I actually didn't play receiver in high school. I played linebacker in high school.
Okay. I said I thought he played linebacker, and he said he was a receiver, so I was right.
Oh yeah, you're right on that.
Okay. Well, thanks.
Cam, a lot of your teammates were running for the Golden Boot Trophy down at LSU.
Yeah.
Where were you going?
I was going to celebrate with Vito, actually. That was like the first person I really came and ran to, because we were just talking like from about third quarter on about, he's like, man, I have a feeling you're gonna have to kick a really big kick this game, either to tie it, to win it, just an opportunity to go out there in probably the fourth quarter. And then it got slow. And he's like, man, I really think you're going to have to go out there and actually kick a game winner. And I was like, man, I'm ready for it. So he just kept instilling confidence in me. And so I just went out there and did it. And I found him. I was like, I mean, that was probably my really good friend last season was Vito. So I went up, celebrated with him.
Guys, wasn't so long ago, obviously, Arkansas had a lot of issues not so long ago, but special teams was not a good area. Now it's a strength. Just what do y'all think about, special teams, being so good now, just really in a lot of different aspects?
Yeah, I think we can attribute a lot of this success to Coach Fountain, the way he has us work at practice. And during the off season, he really keeps us accountable, and it's been really good for our unit. I've been here, this is going to be my 5th season, and I've just seen the specialist room continue to grow every single year. And it's been really fun to be a part of.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking on that. I feel like Coach Fountain really does hold us to a high standard. I feel like from talking to some NFL guys about, the standards that they are held to, I think Coach Fountain kind of instills those same type of standards. So I definitely feel like that attributes a lot to our success. It's just the kind of the pressure we have in practice, high expectations we have in practice. And if it's not perfect, it's not good enough really. And that's a good rule to live by in the specialist world. If it's not perfect, it's not good enough.
Amy, doing anything special for your birthday? Or just another day?
Nah, just another day in the office.
Recovery.
Good recovery. Wake up, ball camp tomorrow. So nothing special.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.